Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day today. We go to New Hampshire in the Cup Series as well as Xfinity and then Gateway in the Truck Series. But there you see the news for today. Kyle Busch at 72 wins, even closer to Dale Earnhardt now after a win in Kentucky. A lot of yellow flags recently in the races. We're going to see that continues today, as well as myself. We've been confirmed to be talking to Chip Ganassi Racing now as a third team, and then Brad Keselowski obviously under pressure to get a win really quickly, being that last guy in there. As we had a little bit of a media question from Jeff Gluck saying, what can I say about my contract status for next season, where I replied, Ganassi has recently approached me with an appealing offer. One of the CGR drivers may have some different plans going on next season, which could put me in a Chip Ganassi racing car. So we'll see where that ends up here as we get going towards this kind of last half of this third season of our Cup Series career. But we had Greg Biffle in the truck here at Gateway as he started a little bit outside of the top 10 on this opening lap here. And he would, sure enough, be able to work his way a little bit forwards, but not as much as I was hoping he would now as he came through out of turn 4. This was now on the final lap as he went down the front straightaway just behind the number 12 truck there of Gus Dean as he crossed the line to get P12 here in Gateway. So not a great finish from Greg Biffle, and hopefully we can bounce back in the next one for the Truck Series. And now we come to the Xfinity Series here at New Hampshire, where we had subscriber Jacob Fenn in the car now as he was getting ready on this opening lap now as he started on the outside lane once again around the midfield, but he would slowly make some progress throughout this race, but kind of we've been struggling a little bit here recently in the Xfinity Series again, but sure enough it was kind of rolling over into this race as well. As he came now to the final lap there, racing around the 35 of Joey Gase, around still the midfield as he came through out of turn 4, heading down the front straightaway to come through to complete this race, just barely getting beat by the 35 of Joey Gase, and it was a P20 finish for Jacob. So definitely could have been better, but hopefully we can turn it around here in the coming races for Xfinity, as well as we come to Cup Series qualifying as I would come to cross the line with a 28.9, beating our goal. We go P4, so a very, very solid qualifying effort. And on the pole, it's actually going to be our teammate of Eric Almirola, so we're going to see what he can do.
The Cup Series stops at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the running of the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301. Opened in 1990, this 1-mile oval racetrack is located in Loudon, about 1 hour north of Boston. Another beautiful day in the Northeast. Let's get ready to go racing.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here at the Foxwoods Resort and Casino 301 in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Eric Almirola has been dominant all weekend. He just won a few races ago when we helped him at Daytona. Brendan Gaughan and Austin Dillon sent to the back. Gaughan replaced a transmission. Austin Dillon failed technical inspection as we get ready to start on this outside row from P4. 3 SHR cars in the top 4, all locked into the playoffs. Now the green flag is out, and we are underway here in New Hampshire behind the 20 of Eric Jones there as we start this race. Eric Almirola likely going to be a strong factor today here at New Hampshire. We're going to see what he can do, looking for his second win on the season now as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2 side by side with the 20 of Jones. Harvick slips through into that second position, and we're going to follow through into that third position now as we go a little bit deep into turn 3, clearing the 20 of the JGR driver of Eric Jones, still looking for his first win since our rookie season of our career mode. Is going to be 3 wide with Jones and his teammate of Kyle Busch. As we go down this front straightaway, we clear Jones, but we're still side by side with the 18 of Kyle Busch. Still just the one-time Cup champion here in the Cup Series, at least in our career mode now as we come through out of turns 2, still battling side by side with that 18 as we go down the back straightaway, but we carry the momentum to where we can clear Kyle Busch going down into turns 3. So we would drive away from Kyle Busch now as we run towards the back of Kevin Harvick on lap 5, and already issues here on the 5th lap. The 47 of Ryan Preece hard to the outside wall, heavy contact with the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He went spinning. That brings out our first caution of the day here already. No pit stops necessary, so we get straight back into the action here on the restart. It seems like we've gotten both starts so far. We've been faster than the cars ahead of us now as we go down towards turns 1, trying to look to the inside of our teammate of Almirola. Larson gets to the inside of me now as he knows that he really is going to have some good performances if he wants any chance at a playoff position, or he's probably going to have to win if he has another bad finish or so. As we go down into turn 3 behind that 10 car of Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr. slips into P3 behind us. Larson is already falling back a little bit now as we exit turns 4 side by side with the 19 as we come through to cross the line, and then as we came through a little bit later in this stage on lap 12 of 17, still running P2 behind Eric Almirola. And I just didn't really have the speed to be able to run down the 10 car. Now, as at this point, the car was starting to slip around a little bit. Now, as we came through out of turns 4 on lap 13, you can see how much looseness I was dealing with in the car, and that was allowing Truex to start to close the gap here with 4 laps to go. In this first stage, as Almirola, he was driving away with the stage victory at this point as it came through turns 1 and 2, way up the track, and then other turns 2 were sideways again, just a tiny bit, but that one was very easily manageable. Now, as it came through on lap 15 of 17, approaching just 2 to go in the stage, a caution comes out, and that would end stage 1 a couple laps early. Now, as you see, a lot of JGR drivers up here in the mix in this first stage. 3rd through 6th is all JGR cars. Now, as at the end of the stage, I decided to take quite a big swing at it on the wedge and put it all the way up from 50 to 50.4 and see how that would affect us in stage 2. Almirola with the stage 1 victory, another playoff point to his name. Now as the green flag is out and stage 2 is underway here from New Hampshire. Truex and Jones on that second row, the JGR duo with this SHR duo on the front row. Here as we go down through this first corner, a little bit deep once again into that corner, and that's going to give Almirola the lead as we exit turn 2. He is clear. Truex at my left rear quarter panel, but we clear him down the back straightaway as we go down into turn 3 on this opening lap of this second stage. They're close to the back bumper of Almirola, but keeping off of his back bumper now. But there is no denying it. Eric Almirola is going to be a very fast car to deal with, or a very fast driver in a fast car to deal with in this episode here, as he certainly seems to have a lot of speed. Now as we go down into turns 1, a little bit of pressure now from the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2. He's side by side with us. We would kind of get in this little battle here, side by side as we went down towards turn 3, but we would clear him into turn 3 and be able to hold him off for the time being. Now as we came through on lap 5 of the second stage down into turns 1, Almirola starting to drive away a little bit now as we would end up getting a caution again on lap 5 of stage 2, kind of like we got his caution on lap 5 of stage 1. So no pit stops necessary. It looked like it was Kevin Harvick who actually brought out the caution, but we will get right back into the action. Green flag once again is out here in New Hampshire now on lap 8 of 19 here in this second stage. Almirola obviously still out front. Truex and Hamlin behind us there as they go 3 wide between Kyle Busch, Jones, and Hamlin behind us. So it's going to be kind of a 3-car breakaway here between Almirola, myself, and Martin Truex Jr. as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3 here on lap 8 of 19 in the second stage. And once again, just kind of lacking the speed we need in this car, and I think obviously a lot more speed than what we had in Kentucky and whatnot. Now as we came through out of turns 4 at this point on lap 9, Martin Truex Jr. completed the pass. We came through on lap 15, still running with Martin Truex Jr., but I was starting to lose the pace in the car with the car starting to slip away on grip again, and that was certainly being an issue. Now as we came through on lap 17, you see me just kind of slipping and sliding on the exit of the corner, so we lost contact with the top 2 drivers as we came through to start the final lap here in the second stage. Eric Almirola just cannot be caught. We definitely don't have the speed to beat him, so I think we're going to have to try and get his strategy call if we want to actually have a chance at beating Eric Almirola as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here in stage 2, down into turn 3 and turn 4. So it definitely seems like Almirola, Truex, myself, we're definitely the 3 fastest cars right now, and then it's kind of a fight for every 4th place on back. Now as we come through to cross the line, Almirola, stage 2 victory, we get P3, so 1 spot worse than the first stage, and the car kind of actually surprisingly felt a little bit worse than stage 1 on the long run. It felt a little bit freer, which was weird because we tightened up the car. So going into stage 3, I decided to take another swing at the car, but this time I also took some adjustments to the tire pressures, and obviously I did move up the wedge just by 0.1, so it's now at 50.5 after we started the race at 50.0. So we will get ready to go green here for this 3rd and final stage here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Now as we gain 1 position on the pit lane, Truex drops 2 down to P4, and we will restart on the front row with Eric Almirola again. Almirola leads the way once again as we are underway here. The JGR kind of 4 drivers all trying to beat us here up on this front row, but they just seem to not have quite the speed other than Martin Truex Jr. going down into turns 136 laps to go. At this point now has come to out of the second corner, Kyle Busch at my left rear, but we clear him down this back straightaway, about a quarter of a car length between myself and Almirola as we go down into turn 3, trying to look to the right-hand side of Almirola, but I actually go up a little bit too high, and now Kyle Busch pounces on the opportunity, and he's actually going to nearly clear us down this front straightaway as we come through side by side, crossing the line here, trying to hold on to this second position here at the beginning of this third and final stage here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Now out of turn 2, Kyle Busch, though, looks like he might have the momentum to clear us, but we're going to continue to fight back side by side with the JGR champion as we go down into turn 3, trying my best to get clear of Kyle Busch and hope that we can have the correct adjustments in the car to go fight with Almirola, but Kyle Busch would be able to clear me for a brief moment of time. We would battle back though on the outside of him on lap 42 as we went down into turn 3. We clear him into the corner now as Keselowski goes up the inside of Kyle Busch, and then Keselowski is going to get to my inside now as we exit turn 4, heading down this front straightaway. Side by side as we go down towards turns 133 laps to go at this point now. Keselowski, the Penske driver, the last car in the playoffs, looking for his first win of the season. Still, surprisingly, he clears us on the exit of turn 2, but now we slice back to the inside down the back straightaway, and we're going to send it up the inside into turns 3 as Almirola is loving this view in his rear view mirror, seeing drivers fight for that second and third and fourth position. And now we came to on lap 48, though we had started to reel in Almirola just a tiny bit, and then we had actually driven away from the cars behind. We come to lap 52, and then actually he was starting to pull back away from me, so it was just a short period of time where I was closing in on him. Now there was actually trouble behind us. Landon Castle into the outside wall after blowing the right front tire like Ryan Preece did on lap 5 of the race. That's going to bring out a caution, as there was also trouble just in front of us as that was happening with Michael McDowell, who blew an engine. So obviously we had to come to the pit lane, and I decided to make a change here. I decided to take 4 tires. I kind of figured the AI would take 2, but I decided to take 4 because we clearly did not have the pace to beat Eric Almirola. We know we have a second place car, so I decided to take 4 tires and see if we can work our way back up to second place within a decent amount of time, and then see if we can use that 4 tire advantage to our advantage and possibly be able to be faster than Eric Almirola. So sure enough, we got to be really aggressive on this restart now with just under 20 laps to go as we go down into turns 3. We are approaching just under 20 to go now as we are already back inside the top 10, so I was very confident in the car at this point. And sure enough, we were working our way forwards very quickly. We got up to P9. We would end up going up to P6 as we came through on lap 59, getting to the outside now of the 88 of Alex Bowman for Hendrick Motorsports as we exit the corner. We clear him, and now we're going to get to the back of the 42 of Larson, get to the inside of Larson as we go down into turn 3. Now we're going to take over that 4th position here as we were approaching just 16 laps to go at this point. So definitely showing some speed with the 4 tire advantage. Now on lap 60, right to the back of the 18 of Kyle Busch as Keselowski runs in P2. The caution comes out as we hit 15 laps to go, and it's for Ryan Truex, so we'll be restarting from P4. No one comes to the pit lane, so now we're even closer to the back of Eric Almirola. So now we give the shot to the back bumper there of the 2 of Keselowski to maybe give him a little bit better of a restart as we go down into turns 1. Keselowski would love to win this race and make sure he's locked into the playoffs and not have to worry about a surprise winner maybe kicking him out, but we came through on lap 65 out of turn 2. We got to the outside of Keselowski, made the pass on him. Kyle Busch takes the second spot away as we run P3, but now we're going to lunge to the inside of the 18 of Kyle Busch, and sure enough, we're going to try and fight back to take over that second position as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Kyle Busch, so we know he's not going to easily give up that position. He will fight back down this front straightaway as we come through to cross the line. 10 laps to go here in New Hampshire. Almirola driving away. We send it in deep into the corner. Kyle Busch, he's going to cross over to the bottom now as we come through turns 1 and at turn 2. He tries to fight back for P2, but we have the momentum to hang on to that second position. Now we come through on lap 69. Nice. We're closing in towards the back of Eric Almirola at this point with these 4 fresh tires. Well, still not necessarily fresh anymore, but definitely fresher than the 2 tires that Almirola had going now as we came through on lap 70, even closer to the back of our teammate of Almirola, but the tires were starting to give up a little bit at this point. We came through on lap 73, starting to fade just a tiny bit. Now there's big trouble for the 42 of Kyle Larson, who goes spinning into the outside wall, and then he gets hit pretty hard by his teammate of Kurt Busch. This brings brings out a caution and would force NASCAR overtime, as that would pretty much put an end to Kyle Larson's hopes of pointing his way in to the playoffs. He's definitely going to need to win at this point. Now, as the green flag, though, is back out, overtime is underway here in New Hampshire. We've had so many two-lap dashes recently now, as we're side by side with our Stuart Haas racing teammate of Eric Almirola. He has a win this season from Daytona where we helped him, so we definitely don't need to be afraid to move him now as he exit turns two, heading down this back straightaway, clearing Keselowski nearly, as we do finally get clear of him. As we go down into turn three, approaching the final lap, we give the bumper to the back of the 10. Now as we drift up the track, the car did not turn at all right there after I got to the back of the 10, and that allows Keselowski to my inside. He gets clear as we go down this front straightaway. White flag in the air for Eric Almirola, and our chances of victory now are very slim as we go down into turns one. Kyle Busch trying to get to my left rear as we fight back nearly to the right rear of Keselowski now as we're slipping and sliding on the exit of turn to a big save as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here in New Hampshire. Almirola went into Daytona a few races ago on the outside looking in just barely, and he won his way into the playoffs, and here he is now out of turns four. He will win his second race of the season in New Hampshire with a dominant performance from the SHR teammate of ours, Eric Almirola. 2 wins on the season, which actually ties still the most wins of the season. So great for Eric, and that would already put him up to 7th in points. It's hard to believe that just a few races ago he was the first guy out due to all the surprise winners there. As after the race I said we had to do 4 tires at the end. We needed some type of advantage over the 10 if we wanted to beat him. Still didn't work out in our favor with the overtime situation, as we've had quite a few caution fests recently here in the career mode. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. There is the points grid or points standings after this episode going into Pocono for the final time in the next one, which I'm glad to get Pocono out of the way in the next one, but you never know how Pocono will go. We could have a surprise winner there even, so we'll see how it goes. There, as you see the points on your screen. So I'll see you guys in the next one at Pocono. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.